Perfect.
There we go.
Gotcha.
Ready in 33 seconds.
Might give me a little bit of an intro, outro on the fly.
Wednesday night, warmer. Highest day is Thursday. Lower 90. Thursday evening and Thursday nights and scattered showers.
Why does my mic keep humping up?
Friday and the weekend, trending cooler. 70s Friday and
Now
Saturday.
it's recording,
There are
right?
chances
Or
for
not?
showers and starting to clear out a bit by Sunday and into Monday. I'm meteorologist Don Jay on the Country Twins.
All right, we have another live interview for you right now. This is an exciting day. This is very busy. But we have Clay Crago with the Black Hills Roundup in our studios instead of a call-in, so this will be really fun. And Katie is going to be interviewing him. So Katie, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, I'm very happy to welcome Clay Crago of Black Hills Roundup, the chairman of Black Hills Roundup, to our studios today. Thanks for taking the time to join us today.
Well, you bet, Katie. Thanks for having me. Getting ready for a big week here and glad to come.
That's right. First of all, what's your background? You know, the Crago name is well known in this area. How did you get started in rodeo, and what made you want to head up a rodeo committee?
You're right. Our Crago's names, we've been around here for generations around this area, and I've always been involved with rodeo. And kind of what got me involved with Black Hills Roundup is we started going to a bunch of ranch rodeos, and 9 years ago, this is our 9th annual ranch rodeo coming up Saturday. But we started going to a bunch of them with some friends of mine, and we just decided it'd be fun to maybe see if we could include one in the Black Hills Roundup. And so we took that step and started that, and then it's just progressed from there. And I got on the executive committee, and now I'm chairman.
And this is the 99th annual. How long have you been involved?
Pretty much them 9 years that I've been doing the ranch rodeo, I've been involved in. But yeah, 99th. It's
Yeah.
Coming up. Next year's the big one.
That's right. And I just read on Talk, then I just listened on Talk Rodeo that you're going to tear out those grandstands on the side and build new ones.
Yes. It's kind of bittersweet seeing the old ones go, but we've worked with the city of Belfouche and mayor, and we're going to replace them as soon as this one's over. They're going to start demolition and going to have them up by next year. They'll be state of the art and going to have some VIP seating and kind of tie the two grandstands together with the west grandstands, and so it'll be a nice upgrade.
Yeah. And for those who've never seen a rodeo before, I was just doing my research. Normally I don't delve into this. You know, you don't do research unless you're going to do interviews, right?
True.
How did the roundup get started? I read that at first, like a long time ago, there were no chutes or stands and the arena had barely enough fence, but the Cowboys still managed.
You know, rodeo itself started with more or less for some cowboys making wagers that they couldn't ride that bronc or rope that steer, whatever, and that's how the Black Hills Roundup got started. And you're right, it was cars circled around there to make the arena, and they'd snub up a bronc and get the cowboy on it and turn him loose, and then it's just progressed from there over the years.
Yeah, and what are some of the other changes you've seen in the few years that you've been involved?
Oh, you know, it's for our committee and ourselves. It's all you got to keep progressing. And last year we moved to four perfs, and that was kind of stuck out on a limb, but it was a good move and it went over good. And you know, there's always progressions you got to keep moving forward to.
Yeah, and I think we are planning to broadcast those 4 perfs right here on KBFS.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what happens during the off season, you know, while we're sitting in frozen tundra and spring and fall and winter? What kind of preparation are you doing then?
Oh, it never quits. After the rodeo's over next week, we'll take a little breather, and then we'll start planning for the next one, and actually for the 100th coming up next year. It's going to be a big show, and we've already been planning on it and some of the acts and trying to make it big. And you know, my vision of it is kind of going back retro to say, I guess, and back to how it was 100 years ago. And we're gonna have some Indians come and do a powwow and some of their native dances, how it was back then, and just kind of try to relive what it was 100 years ago, 100 years later.
Are you doing relay races too, like they do, or are you gonna?
We haven't finalized that quite yet, but we'd like to, and it without having the track around the arena how it used to be, that it kind of limits us. But we're having miniature chuck wagon races are coming in. They race through the arena. The one-armed bandit, a specialty act, which is pretty cool, and it's going to be huge.
Mm-hmm. And before I forget, who are your stock contractors?
Hank and Lori Franzen and John, Powder River Rodeo. This will be their 30th year with us. They've been with us a long time, and you know they got outstanding stock, and look forward to seeing what they got this year. They're always their breeding program and just always bringing new horses up, and so should be good this year.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, horses like to buck. They're not forced.
No. A lot of people think, it's that you're hurting the animal. They're bred to do that. It's no different than any horse or bull, whatever. But they're bred to do it, and if they don't like to do it, they don't do it.
Yeah.
And just put a flank on them, and it just tickles them more or less, and to make them buck.
Yeah. If you just joined us, we're talking with Clay Crago, chairman of the Black Hills Roundup. Now, the Black Hills Roundup earned a spot in the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame. How does it feel to receive that honor?
It's pretty awesome to only have, I think there's 15 rodeos in the Hall of Fame, and us to be included in them. Mm-hmm. And it's the Black Hills Roundup committee, and in my mind, and it's not just the current committee, it's 99 years worth of committee and people putting their hard work and dedication into the Black Hills Roundup to make it what it is today.
Yeah. You started Shoots for Charity. I read about this on the website. That was back in 2010. Can you explain more about that program?
I can. It's a group of ladies that they take people will send in or whatever if they might need some help, and they have fundraisers, and they try to keep their money local and give it to people to help them out when they had sickness or an accident, or just in their times of need. And it's an awesome organization.
So it's similar to what the Crisis Fund does, the Justin Cowboy Crisis Fund?
It is. It's real similar to that, except local.
Right.
They just try to keep their money more local and just help out local people that help us out with Black Hills Roundup.
Yeah.
And come buy tickets and that kind of stuff,
One thing that folks might be interested in discussing that's kind of unique, when I read about it, it felt unique to me, the cattle drive. That just sounds like fun. This is our 9th one, and that's kind of come hand in hand with the ranch rodeo. We started it with the first ranch rodeo 9 years ago, and it's just progressed from there. And we trail them right down Main Street, and we'll come right up Elkhorn with them and down Main Street and to the rodeo grounds before the ranch rodeo, 3 o'clock on Saturday. We'll be doing that, and we usually bring in, it's just mainly our stock for the ranch rodeo, and then I got a few big lead steers, longhorn steers, that we bring with them. And next year, though, it's going to be big. I got 100 head of them longhorn cows at home, and we're going to trail them kind of like John Wayne and the Cowboys did. We're going to trail them right down the highway and come to Belfouche with them. So like a reenactment.
Yes, ma'am.
And you got the parade.
The parade is it's huge. And I think there's like 118 entries this year, last I knew.
Wow.
And it's, the parade route's changed this year. It's going to start up by the football field and come down Elkhorn because of the construction up here. And so that'll be a little different, but it'll still be good. It'll end right down here where it always does.
Yes. And for those that don't know what goes on at a rodeo, you have the main shows, which are called the performances, which you've got 4 of them. Slack, which you've got 2 slacks, and I've had people ask me, what is slack?
Well, actually, the slack they changed it on us. PRCA did. It's all going to be Saturday instead of having 2. And slack is the overflow of the timed events, because we only take a set number of contestants during the performances. So slack is the overflow. So they come that morning, and they'll barrel race, steer wrestle, team rope, and dog steers, or calf rope.
Steer wrestling, calf roping, tie down roping.
Tie down roping, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's good information because in the PRCA listings it was 2.
Yeah.
How can folks get tickets?
You can go online and buy them, blackhillsroundup.com, or you can call down to the Tri-State Museum and Visitor Center, or stop down there and buy them there.
Anything else you'd like to touch on?
You know, I think that we've kind of touched on everything. We got Cowboy Keeney, our specialty act. He'll be back this year, kind of by popular demand. He's the motorcycle jumps and X Games guy, and pretty darn cool. Dana Bowman skydives into the arena. Veteran, he'll be skydiving into the arena with the American flag, and I don't know if anybody missed it last year, but if you did, I invite you to come down. It's darn cool, and just his story alone. And then Dennis Halstead is our barrel man and clown, and again this year, and he's always good. And D&H Cattle will have the bulls, and they're second to none.
And the announcer?
The announcer's Chad Nicholson, and Chad's been with us for I think 17, 18 years, a long time, does an outstanding job, and
Yes.
voice of the Black Hills Roundup, he calls it. But yep, he does good.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to come in today. That's going to do it. And I want to also thank you for shedding some more light on what goes on during the Black Hills Roundup and some things that people probably didn't know. So I'm glad we did this, and I hope everyone enjoys the week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
If you missed this interview or want to go back and watch and listen, it will be on KBFS.com very soon. Thanks for listening. Now we'll go back to our regular programming.
All right, that means the Dana Show is coming up, and like she said, KBFS.com, check it out. Also on Facebook, you can send us a good like. We took video today of the interview as well, so that will be on our YouTube channel. We're everywhere. So right now, back to the Dana Show. Or something else.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Whatever.
KYDT is going live in
Well, thank you, guys.
Yeah, I am so glad you come in today. Can I hit stop on this? Huh? Can I hit stop on this?
Yes.
Yeah.